Howdy, folks. I'm a magical, mindful Mars, mollifying, meditating marsupials.
I'm Amber.
And here are more mollifying, meditating marsupials for us to mollify. Oh, and one more thing before we kind of move on. There were a couple of people who talked to me in the comments, and they were saying that furries aren't always an adult intimate type thing. So I do want to acknowledge that, and I do really appreciate people giving me that information. I've only ever heard of it in the adult intimate form, so when we had the episode when the guy was in a furry suit, it might not necessarily have been a adult-oriented thing. Some people just like wearing these suits and feel more comfortable being in them. So I do want to make sure that I let people know that I've been educated on that, so thank you all for the additional input on that. Alright folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Daughter That I Will Not Be Walking Her Down the Aisle Unless She Invites Her Siblings and Their Families to Her Wedding? I'm a 56-year-old male, and I have 5 children. This is about 3 of them: Casey, a 26-year-old female, Alex, a 31-year-old non-binary, and Tom, a 34-year-old male. The names are not their true names. My daughter Casey is getting married this winter to her fiancé Max, 27-year-old male, who she has been together with for about 4 years. I'm covering a majority of the wedding expenses as Max's family lives in a different country, and with the currency exchange rate, they won't be able to afford the wedding and both come to the wedding. I have no issue with it, and I just want my little girl to be happy. Well, last week, while Casey was away, my children, Alex and Tom, came to visit with their families, and were talking about wedding invitations. I was surprised to hear that they hadn't received their wedding invitation, so I just thought that Casey hadn't sent them out yet for everyone. Until my oldest and youngest daughter pointed out that they received their invitations with their kids and partners involved. I called my sister, who also said that Casey had invited their whole family to the wedding and that she received hers a little while back. So I immediately saw red. Both Alex and Tom have husbands and children adopted, and it seemed that Casey was excluding them because of their choices. It also seemed weird that since Casey has always been close to them and supported them when they came out as non-binary and gay respectively. I have called Casey and demanded an explanation. My daughter said that Max and his family don't feel comfortable with couples that are not traditional, and it goes against their culture, and that she hopes for my understanding. I have told her that if that's the case, then I will not be walking her down the aisle, and I pull out from paying for the wedding, as she cannot exclude her family like this when they did nothing wrong, and if her future in-laws' opinions are so important to her, they can pay for the wedding. As a result, Casey has called me a jerk, and hung up and cried. My children are on my side, and my wife is torn as she understands where Casey is coming from, but agrees that she shouldn't have excluded her siblings like this. Edit, I just want to add some information about my wife. When I said that she's torn and gets where Casey is coming from, it doesn't mean that she supports Casey's decision to exclude her siblings. She doesn't approve of it in the slightest. However, as a mother of our children, she feels that she should be there for all of her children if they need her or want to talk to her, even if she doesn't agree with their choices. She is deeply hurt by Casey and has said that she absolutely adores Alex and Tom's husbands and their children. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. What Casey is doing is not okay at all. She's letting homophobia and transphobia dictate her wedding, and it says a lot about her character. And I think you're absolutely right to say that if these are the values you're willing to live by, then you're pulling out of the wedding.
Bad platform on her part. Like, she shouldn't be excluding her family like this. Her family shouldn't be excluded because of who they are. It's really difficult to see things from her perspective, since she is doing this out of a place of, oh, I don't want my other family to hate me or something like that, when what are you going to do? Not invite them to any family gathering where their family is going to be at?
Well, that's the exact thing I was going to get at. Like, yeah, maybe his parents live out of the country, but it sounds like he's not okay with them either. So, like, are they going to be excluded from everything that her family's involved with?
Yeah. So I really think this is very, very poor form, and I don't blame OP for pulling this in the slightest. If there were a reason to pull out funding from a wedding, this is it. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Wingardiums says, not the jerk, and convince your confused wife to support you in your decision. Do not forgive her. How dare she exclude her own family from the wedding in favor of the in-laws? And OP replies, I struggle to understand why she did it, and why she thought that Max and his family are more important than her own, as she is the one who helped her siblings come out and helped them to explain all of this to me better. I'm not gonna lie, I was very oblivious of the signs, and it seemed the entire family knew except for me. And Crock of Pot says, not the jerk, Casey can be bigoted on her own dime. I would never put my money into an event that discriminated against two of my kids like this. I also think that it's pretty scummy that she didn't even have the guts to tell Alex and Tom that they were being excluded. And OP replies, I was confused when they told me about receiving no invitation. Both of them live in the same neighborhood, just a couple of houses away from each other, so they thought that it was just the postman who lost the invitations at the depot. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, I'm a 22-year-old female and I think my boyfriend, a 22-year-old male, is trying to baby trap me. Then my advice is this, leave. We have adult intimate time whenever we can, especially camping, because we don't live together and I hate doing it in the car. He conveniently forgets the protection and we do it anyways. I usually take plan B. However, I recently got accepted into a doctorate program which will cause us to be long distance for 2 years. He's conservative and wants to be the breadwinner, and although he's supportive, he's made it clear that he doesn't want me to go. So now, after we have adult time, he says that he can't wait until he gets me pregnant and for us to have lots of kids together. He keeps saying how he's going to marry me if we accidentally get pregnant, hence him not wanting to be safe and discouraged me from getting plan B last time we saw each other. I love him, but where should I go from here if I want to put my life first? Alright folks, what do you think? What should OP do here?
If you want to put your life first, break up with him. This man is not respecting your wishes. He has made it very clear that he wants to impregnate you ASAP, regardless of how that affects your life and your dreams. He's told you he doesn't want you pursuing your dreams. I think you need to listen to him here. He is actively trying to impregnate you.
Yeah, I think he's actively trying to sabotage your career goals. If this is what you want to do, then this is something that you're going to have to dedicate a lot of time and energy to. It can't be a half supportive type thing. He either needs to fully support you and be there for you, or he doesn't need to be there for you. And this is just going to create a lot of problems in the future when you do inevitably get pregnant. And OP, somebody who doesn't share the same values as you, while that's not necessarily a problem, it is a problem when it's to this scale, where you want to have a career, but he's telling you that he doesn't want you to have a career. So you have to think if this is worth it or not. Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? If that's what you want and that's your goal, that's great. That's fine. But that has to be something that you want to do as opposed to being told that you're going to be.
Well, and on going kind of along with this, I think this guy has shown that he doesn't listen to you or respect you. So even if that was a goal of yours, it shouldn't be with this guy because he doesn't care about you. He has his own vision for what your life will look like, and he wants to get his way no matter what. Yeah,
it does sound very controlling. It sounds like he's trying to make sure that he gets his way, and I just don't like it. There's a lot of red flags here. And then on top of that, I just want to make a note about Plan B. While Plan B is just a concentrated form of the medication that stops ovulation from happening, it isn't the best form of birth control. If you are serious about getting birth control, then maybe it's time to go on the pill. Maybe it's time to get an IUD or something like that. I would suggest for him to get some kind of birth control or something that they've taken care of, but I don't think he'll be a fan of that.
Yeah, he's not trustworthy, so it's going to be on you from here on out to use birth control. And I know you say in the comments you live in the South, so it may not be easy to access long-term birth control there, but hopefully the new state you're going to for grad school may have some more affordable options.
Yeah, I mean, also, it's probably one of these matters of insurance. If she lives somewhere and she doesn't have really good insurance, maybe she would have to cover the IUD out of pocket. And that, I think, can be pretty prohibitively expensive, if I understand that. But I do know that the pill isn't as expensive, at least in the short term. And it's one of those things where I guess you're going to have to take it consistently and regularly. And if you're in a long distance relationship, how often is the need for that going to occur? So I guess it's a balancing act for you if you choose to stay with this individual.
But honestly, he doesn't sound, I know you love him, but I would look really long and hard at what kind of behaviors he's shown you. Like, are there other instances of manipulation and control in your life? And even if there aren't, the desire to control your reproductive future and consequently whether or not you can achieve your dreams is a big amount of coercion.
Yeah. So let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Eastern Ben 7294 says, I would personally break up with him, but that's just me. It's your life and your decisions. He doesn't have a say when it comes to your body. You go and get your doctorate. If he doesn't like it, then he's free to walk away. Plan B isn't as good nor as reliable as regular birth control, which I suggest that you get on if you're staying with him. Get an IUD if you can, if you think that you won't remember to take pills regularly, or if he would go so far as to throw them away, to protest. Do not have adult intimate time with him if he doesn't use protection, and check if they've been tampered with. Fill an unopened one with water and see if it leaks, or check after they've been used. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. And OP replies, that's a good idea. Yeah, I never thought about him tampering with the protection. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, I'm a 28-year-old female. My boyfriend is a 27-year-old male and he wants us to have a joint bank account. Would I be overreacting if I broke up with him? I'm a 28-year-old female, and my boyfriend, a 27-year-old male, Dylan, and I have been dating for 9.5 months, and we're talking about moving in together. A little bit of background is that I have a master's degree, and Dylan has an associate's, so I earn $540,000 a year, while he earns $120,000 a year. All of this is after taxes, and we're both aware of how much the other earns. I own a house, no mortgage, that I rent out because I still enjoy living in an apartment, and I also own a car, no payments. Dylan, on the other hand, is still making payments on his car and also lives in an apartment with roommates. Back to the story, we were discussing moving in together. Actually, to be more precise, he wants to move in with me because I live alone in my apartment and I definitely don't mind him moving in, considering there's more than enough room for both of us. So he then brought up splitting the rent. My rent is $6,400 and he wanted to split it 60-40 with me paying 60% while he pays 40%. And I was honestly fine with that. But I wanted to split the utilities 50-50 and everyone has to buy their own groceries. After some arguing, he finally agreed. Now here's where things started to go sour. He suggested that after we pay the rent, utilities, groceries, whatever is left after that, we should put it all into a joint bank account. I honestly thought that I misunderstood what he was saying, but he was dead serious and he wants us to put it, whatever is left, into a joint bank account. He said that we can only use a little bit of it for fun money, but it has to be something that we both can enjoy, otherwise it's just useless spending money and we would be wasting it. And his definition of wasting money is my cooking classes, even though he has a full-on gaming system that probably costs thousands. He said that he wants us to focus on our future. We'll use that money to pay off loans and car payments and save up for our future. I don't have any loans or payments and I'm completely debt free. I try to come up with a more reasonable compromise that we can open a joint bank account together and we can each contribute $1,000 to $2,000. I even offer to contribute more to it per month, which seems more than fair. And we can use that as our fun money for both of us and we can discuss opening up a joint savings account later. He doesn't like that idea. I pointed out that it seems like he would be the only one benefiting from this joint bank account. He tried to sell me on the dream that he's trying to paint, but I am not stupid. How is me putting $35,000 plus a month into a joint bank account that's supposed to be for fun money, but is actually going to pay off your loans, going to benefit me? He stormed off after telling me that I was being greedy, but a few hours later he was texting me, grilling me about my finances again, like how much money do I send to my parents each month? How much do I charge for my tenants? I got mad and told him that he's prying and it's none of his business, and now he's ghosting me again. I talked to a friend and he said that he would help pay off his wife's debt because she's his life partner and you're supposed to try and support each other. So now I'm wondering if I'm the one acting crazy and unreasonable. His friends say that a real woman is supposed to support her man. If anyone is gone through something like this, what is your advice? What did you do in this situation? All right, folks, let me know what you think.
OP, I don't think you're in the wrong for wanting to break things off with him. It seems like your financial goals are incompatible. And this is a 9-month relationship. Like, I understand if you're in a long-term relationship and you're very committed to one another, that it could be a nice thing to help pay off your partner's debt. But this is a 9-month relationship. And this guy is throwing up some serious red flags about wanting to have financial control over your salary.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem I have here is he seems to think that he gets to call all of the shots when it comes to your finances. And like you said, OP, this seems to only benefit one person in the relationship. And while, yes, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and having him debt-free is going to go a long way towards helping both of you be a happier partnership, that doesn't necessarily mean that you do that after 9 months. And I think that his request here is a little bit unreasonable. He needs to take some time and figure out his own finances, and maybe you can work out a deal where he pays less in rent and he can pay off more of his own finances, but it isn't unreasonable to ask him to work towards paying off his finances, and then when you two, if you get married in the future, pay off more of his chunk of debt and whatnot.
Yeah, because the rent, I mean, is skewed, and I would have commented on that, except I don't know if it's really worth staying with him with all his other financial control angles. And I wouldn't put it past this guy to, like, use your money to pay off his debt and then just take the rest of it and disappear.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that too. And plus his whole acting cold to you and ghosting you because you don't want to acquiesce to him. This is just like a very gross, controlling, manipulative way of trying to get you to acquiesce to him.
Yeah, emotional blackmail. And that's not okay. Like, he shouldn't be, freezing you out. It's perfectly fine to, like, propose an idea to your partner, but if they have legitimate concerns, to just like, oh, well, now I'm just not going to talk to you because you won't throw every last penny you own into an account that I have access to.
Yeah, and I do want to say that it is reasonable to ask for space in a relationship, so I don't think that's unreasonable, but I think that his reaction here seems a little bit out of proportion. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Melissa says, $540,000 a year. I just need to know what your job is. Lol. I imagine that this is not in US dollars. That is what my assumption was here. And the social media detox says $120,000 with an associate. What's his job too? And Watchword says, and still living with roommates. I make 40,000 euros a year and I can live by myself in a very small apartment in Amsterdam. I really wonder where they're living. I don't think either of them would have trouble paying off their debt if they were making those kinds. Like if you had an associates and you still had debt with that level of income in US dollars, then there would be deeper problems at that point in time. And Throw It, Am I the Jerk says, big red flags, he sounds like a gold digger. I would definitely not move in with this guy or start sharing savings with him or expenses with him. He's got stars in his eyes, but the stars come from imagining your money paying off his loans and getting him everything that he wants. It doesn't sound like you figure into his dreams, apart from as the financial mechanism to get him from here to there. And breaking up with someone can happen for any reason you feel like. It's not a debate whether the winner gets to choose the relationship outcome. If either one of you wants to break up for what could seem the most random reason, that's your prerogative. Not that yours would be random at all. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she's got a joke that's based around tea.
No, I don't have a tea joke.
Oh.
What did one volcano say to the other?
The one volcano said to the other, "Hey, that's a mighty spicy tea you've got there. I'm drinking lava too. Lava tea.
I lava you.
I lava tea. A lava. That didn't make any sense. and I have mega mint." Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday. I hope your Monday is going fabulously. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, Amber, have it in the form of a person who should come with their own warning sign.
Warning. will be a great ally to my trans and gay fam until homophobic dude walks into my life, and then, you know.
Peace. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.